Imagine being 10 years old and living in a village completely isolated from the rest of the world. Imagine if weeks went by without nighttime, and school was optional, so you could play outside even at 3 a.m. Imagine if law enforcement was non-existent, and cultural norms were vanishing. When I was 18, my mom and I moved from Omaha, Nebraska to a traditional Eskimo village in Alaska. Alaska's natural environment was stunning, and the lives of the Eskimos seemed to combine traditional Eskimo living with the best of modern technology. Villagers were welcoming, excited to share parts of their culture, from traditional stone carving to traditional dance. On my first day, two bubbly young girls, Brenda and her younger sister Annie, came to visit.
My name is Brenda and I live in Private Mission.
They were curious about everything and excited to share.
There's almost always snow on the mountains and there's like a few houses and there's like a lot of people who die.
Alaska feels like a dream. The villages are completely isolated from the outside world and inhabited by strange and alien plants and animals. Even the normal rules of time don't apply. When there's daylight, Brenda and her friends are out playing, even though our watches say 3 a.m. The natural laws of sun trump the Western rules of clock time. Brenda's view of the world is heavily limited by her current surroundings. When I showed her a photograph of Venice, she refused to believe that it was a real place. She thinks of it as some impossible dream world. But in other ways, Western culture has taken root. Coca-Cola has become ubiquitous. But some of the mixing is more dangerous. The subsistence life that I was learning about has become changed through the influx of Western technology.
Subsistence is an economic endeavor. It's no different than a job. You can't burn 50 calories to bring home 25. Today's subsistence world, you look at somebody with a $12,000 boat going after a bucket full of berries, and then the price of gas, really it's more tradition than realistic.
Everything is dying out. All they care about now is cell phones and Facebook and TV. And a lot of these kids don't even know how to cut fish.
After a few weeks, Brenda asked, "Do you have a honey?" I dodged the question by asking her and the pack the same question. Some admitted to liking one or another boy from the village. One girl admitted to liking a boy that I had thought was her cousin. For most of their history, Eskimos were nomadic people. Different tribes would meet and intermingle, expanding the gene pool. In the mid-1800s, American whaling companies set up stations along the Bering Sea coastline. They began trading with the Eskimos in exchange for employment. Around 1885, Western missionaries came to civilize the natives and cure them of their new drinking habits. They forced native children to attend missionary schools. The natives were punished for speaking their dialects and were no longer allowed to pursue their traditional means of survival. School attendance also made it difficult for the Eskimos to migrate in search of food, and they were not allowed to hunt on Sunday.
I don't mean to be so negative, but there's a lot of relationship with cousins going with cousins. That's not traditional.
I don't know what the best place, what the best scenario is going to be. It's almost like at this time and point, we just about have to hit bottom before we start coming back up.
In the context of sort of negative space idea, despite the dysfunctions that a lot of these kids face, one of their strengths is just a lot of resilience. They need to overcome a lot in order to sort of show up every day and put their best foot forward. They're great kids. Like many kids, probably most kids.
Brenda and her friends and siblings and children will create a new culture. We expect our culture to evolve, and so will theirs.
And then, can you tell Rachel goodbye?
Goodbye, Rachel.
Annie.
Hi, Brenda.
Bye, Rachel.
Hi, Annie.
I will talk to you later.